we have on the bench today is a Telecaster. All right, welcome back to Jim's Guitar Garage. All right, what we have on the bench today is a Telecaster. Complaining of some fret buzz. This is a Squire Telecaster Custom. So it's your typical, it's like a 72 style, but it's got the Les Paul controls. Okay, so we're gonna work on this and get this thing back to acting like new. So we're gonna go through the whole thing, check it out. One of the things I like about this, a lot of the old Squires and even the newer ones have a nice, fairly satin neck, so real easy to play, not sticky at all like a lot of the Mexican ones. String through, obviously black, so every single fingerprint shows up. We'll be doing a complete setup on this and returning it back to the owner just like brand new. All right, one of the things I noticed right away on this guitar is it looks like it's had a few upgrades. So those are some pretty fancy string trees there. I'm not sure what brand they are, but they look like, I believe it is Planet Waves that makes those. And if you can see this, it also looks like it has a tusk nut installed. That is definitely not your standard Squire nut by far. And you can see it's actually got a little bit of dust on there, but it's actually got a pretty nice fretboard on there. The frets, as you can see, are hardly have any marks on them, if you can make that out. There's a little bit of wear in there, but we're probably not going to have to deal with that at all. Alright, so I guess the first thing we're going to do is get these strings off, check the neck, and move on from there. Alright, here we are back with the Telecaster. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that this truss rod works, or we're just wasting our time. So let's make sure that this thing actually works. Okay, and it moves. So that's good. Alright, so we will take off these strings, straighten out this neck, and go on to the next step. All right, strings are off. We've got our 3/1000 feeler gauge here. So this is a notch from Neck Check Guitars. So we're going to check at the top. Well, let me do it this way so you guys can see it. Okay, oh, starting to slide under. Okay, so this neck actually has a back bow, because at the ends, the very ends, it does not go under. Sorry, in the middle it does. Sorry, it has a, not a back bow, but a forward bow. So we're going to straighten this out a little bit. So if you don't trust yourself, find a good luthier, not a buddy who has worked on guitars before, to actually check this stuff out. There we go, barely fits under. So we're gonna have to go just a little bit further. Okay, does not go underneath. So I would call this neck straight. All right, so we've got the strings off. we've got our handy dandy fat Papermate marker and our fret rocker. So where we were before, we checked the truss rod, made sure it worked. This is perfectly flat. Now we're going to start checking it with a fret rocker. We've got a little bit right there. So we're going to mark these spots, and if we have enough of them, we're going to end up doing a whole fret job. So you just take this thing and just push it back and forth. I've covered this in some of my other videos. Once we get a little closer down here, so you want to hit every fret. This is actually really good. And we had that problem area down here from the beginning, if you remember, so we're going to find that. Not yet. Where's it at? There it is. If you guys can hear that. That's what you hear when you're using this fret rocker. Okay, so it's always the middle fret is going to be the high fret in situations like this. So
what I do is I just stick my finger on there.
Alright, so not bad. It looks like somebody's definitely worked on this guitar before. This nut doesn't look new. I think I mentioned that before. I mean, it doesn't look like the original. And then these, and then this. Usually the fret ends on these things are pretty horrible. This one is not bad at all. It's got a little bit. We're going to have to refine this a little bit. But so far we've only got 2 spots. So we're going to take care of those. We're just going to tape them off real quick. File them real quick, and then that'll be it for this. Alright, so we're back with the Squire Telecaster. We just finished up the 2 frets that were bad. This 20th fret was really high. And one of the things I didn't even notice about this at first is this is actually a 22 fret neck. So if you're looking for a Telecaster with 22 frets instead of your typical 21, you could always get this Squire Telecaster Custom. So now you see this little cloth on here. We're going to use this. It's called Gorgamite. Hopefully my camera will focus on that. And we're going to use that to clean this fretboard real quick. And this is about all you need, unless it's really filthy, which this one isn't that bad. But I notice there's a little bit of corrosion around the 15th fret and below. So we're going to clean that all up, work our way up here, get everything clean, and then move on. And this thing cleans your frets, your fretboard, conditions it a little bit. You don't need to use a lot of conditioning, obviously, on a maple one if it's got a finish on it. And I don't really recommend you use anything on it except for water and maybe this. But this thing was sitting around for a little while, it looks like, and it just has some gunk all over it. So as you can see, this thing cleans up pretty good. And then we're going to wipe this down with a cloth afterward, but the main thing I'm trying to get at is all this corrosion. Sorry if my arm is blocking the whole fretboard. So we're going to continue cleaning that out.